describe Canadian basketball. Players making an impact at every level, expressing themselves as people, as Canadians. Leaving an impression on the world stage as champions, making history. Now, some of Canada's best come together for the first time. For some, it's a celebration. For others, an opportunity.
Thanks everybody off Sean Henry.
For all, it's a chance to showcase their game to the world. And that is the ultimate signature. And this is the signature All Canadian Showcase.
None of them are stopping at the camera like I asked them to, so I went to the other team instead of do it. Look at the camera.
No graphics? How come? How come? Nice crowd.
Canadian basketball history continues to be made, and North Pole Hoops is at the forefront. The first ever signature all-Canadian showcase is about to take off. The talent, the rosters, absolutely stacked. I'm here alongside my partner in crime, the only national scout in Canada, Elias Sabate. Elias, what do we have in front of us this evening?
The best collection of Canadian basketball high school talent that there is, bar none. This is a spectacle. This is one for the ages. This is one that I hope the world is going to really take in and enjoy.
It is going to be special. And when you talk about special, Rowan Barrett is tops on that list. And this, we interviewed him a couple of days ago, and when it comes down to it, RJ has not played a game at home in Canada since grade 10.
He's been busy winning tournament championships and national championships in the U.S. That's what he's been doing.
Taking the court for Team White. David Muya in the middle. Tyrese Samuel, Joel Brown going to be in the backcourt. AJ Lawson as well, and the aforementioned RJ Barrett. While for Team Blue, Andrew Nembhard at the point. And it's Casey Izagu in the middle. Noah Kirkwood, who you're going to hear his name an awful lot tonight. Luguentz Dortz is just a man among men, and he is going to be impressive as well. Rounding out the starting five, Emmanuel Miller, a U19 world champion.
There's 2 world champions on the floor right now, 3 actually, and these guys have put on. I mean, that national championship, I still got college coaches that talk about it with me on phone calls and say, hey, you guys had us. You guys beat us in that game. And that's just the beginning. That's what I think the world has got to really take in. This onslaught of talent, this is just the start for Canada. The 2020 classes, the 2021s onward, is looking real special.
Big block there by Muya. And here we are, just 24 seconds into this one. It's going to take these guys some time to get used to playing with each other. A big AAU weekend just passed, so a lot of these guys still going to get used to themselves or used to each other as this game progresses.
And one of the best slashers in the game right now, Luguentz Dortz, mishandles it for a second, still gets his shot off.
RJ Barrett, RBJ, filling the lane with some early paint.
Hey, I mean, as soon as he sees that gap, as soon as he sees a little bit of an opening, he's going to attack it. Man, he's already so good at penetrating even in traffic. You give him the gap and he's gone.
Casey Izagu getting bumped. We're going to take the back end of RJ Barrett, throwing it down. We're playing FIBA rules outside of the 4 12-minute quarters. We want to give these players as much floor time as possible to be able to showcase their talents. And, I mean, we have a good fan group in attendance, but we also have some special scouts in as well, Elias.
Yeah, there's about 35 NBA confirmed scouts. The NBA's really made its way internationally. The game has just exploded internationally, but looking at the NCAA, looking at the NBA, the top producer of talent at those levels is Canadian, and the scouts have taken notice, and they've made their way in. They were here for the G League showcase as well just a couple of months ago, and, I mean, we're starting to see their face a lot more often.
It's Casey Izagu at the line. The NPA Defensive Player of the Year was Casey. Went down south a couple of years back and returned back to Canada to play in the National Preparatory Association. Averaged a double-double this season. Back the other way, you got Joel Brown to AJ Lawson, another future star, the top ranked of 2019 class. RJ misses the jumper. Brown gets it into the corner. Lawson, trigger, no good. Noah Kirkwood pushing it back the other way. The knapsack champion, one of the top prep leagues in all of the United States is down there in New England, and Noah Kirkwood took his 5th year to go down and brought home a chip with him.
And what I saw this year from Kirkwood in terms of development, playing at Northfield Mount Herman, Coach Carroll allowing him to play the point, I think was so crucial for his career. That's the best point guard right there in North America, in my opinion. Knocking down his first, but back to Kirkwood for a second. He's had ample opportunity this season to really develop for the next level at Harvard, where he will be playing a combo guard role and maybe even some more point than anything.
There's Luguentz Dortz from downtown. A year ago, that was the knock on Luguentz Dortz. There's no more knock on this kid.
And every aspect of his game that has been criticized, he's addressed. His ball handling, his counter moves off the bounce, his shooting, most importantly, there it is. His form is really transformed, and he's getting nothing but net.
It was true the whole way through. You could see it right from here, a little inbound to Barrett, and this is Barrett and Dortz. There's going to be a couple of one-on-one matchups to watch tonight. That's one of them right there. Very familiar with each other as well from the Quebec, Ontario battles. Casey Izagu throwing down. His offensive game is definitely improved.
And the assist from the point god, Andrew Nembhard.
Brown almost has it taken away, and then he does cough it up. Look at the big man pushing it the other way. Pulls it up. Back to Dortz. He's going to be looking to play point guard at the next level as well. That's why he wanted to go down to Arizona State, wanted to be under the tutelage of Coach Hurley, one of the best point guards in NCAA history. Little baseline jumper, no good. We're seeing early on RJ Barrett using the court vision back the other way. Andrew Nembhard getting up to throw down. Chomp, chomp, the Gator commit.
Very, very interested in seeing how Andrew transitions into Florida. He is that Gators commit you saw in the intro.
Pick and roll Barrett now. Iziagu jumps out on him, runs into Dortz.
Tough shot, a little forced that time.
Muya cleans up the mess. He did it all year for Canada Top Flight Academy, winning back-to-back national championships at the high school level. There's A.J. Lawson. Coast to coast, A.J. Lawson. He has a gear and then another gear, does A.J. Lawson.
And that's the name I think the college coaches are really starting to take in at the high major level. A.J. Lawson is going to be what, maybe not to the extent, but he's going to be for UPlay Canada on the Nike circuit what RJ was last year. He fills in that scoring mold. There he is again. No good that time.
Again, Noah Kirkwood pulling it down. Eman Miller back the other way. Samuel chop cuts him off. Another finish, Casey Izagu. I know coaches are starting to warm up on his trail 2018, so he'll be heading somewhere next season.
The highest level for him so far, who's beginning to gain interest, is Butler. They've been on him for a few months, but Western Michigan, the first and only to offer at this point. I know it's a little mind-boggling considering the frame on this kid and his timing and anticipation on the defensive end.
Got our first subs of the game. Checking out in for Blue is Kashawn Saunders. Jacoby Neath, also Neath battling a knee injury this season, but man, when he was healthy, impressive number 3 for Blue. Nembhard back to Izagu. Casey's filling it up in the point total right now.
And they seem to have a nice little connection, Nembhard and Casey. Casey's moving well off the ball, moving well after he sets the screens.
Also on for Team White is Isaiah Bujoso, who almost lost it. And the big man, Jaden Bediako, also on the floor. Blue getting out on the run. Neath up top. Barrett says, not on my watch, kids. Wait till I hit the bench before you try an alley-oop like that. You see Rowan Barrett Jr. saying, sorry, Kashawn. You're not going to put me on a poster.
I think both defenders read that the whole way. A little bit of a risky play. Saunders, no good on the first shot.
Never shy as Kashawn Saunders, always has that trigger ready.
And I like that about him. I think Toledo got a steal. I think his confidence and playmaking ability off the bounce, able to defend a couple of positions, It's really going to help him transition to the next level.
Team Blue is the visitors on your screen, up 10. Thanks from this man. Casey Zagu trying to step out, no good. Barrett with the rebound. Outlet pass. Tough pass, trying to thread through there by Kaleem Bennett. A 3-0. Ooh, Jacoby Neath still trying to warm up those legs. The lead's up to 12. Bujoso. Barrett trying to get it going from range. Took him a little bit.
With his Nembhard teammate right in his eye.
Neath getting to the baseline, trying to finish with the left reverse, no good. Barrett again with the rebound. Nice pass. And Bediako back the other way. Gets the pause on it, queens it up.
And Bediako, not overly athletic, but really has a soft touch around the rim. You see him use his baby hook quite often. He can finish over both shoulders, and he's starting to become a lot more mobile in the paint, a lot more fluid in terms of his defensive capabilities.
Bujoso pushing it back the other way, but another turnover. Nembhard taking it hard and finishes. 5 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Both teams starting to find their groove. RJ again from range. That was the one knock on Barrett as well. I guess you want to say heading into that World Cup last year was the shot. He's been working on that.
And I got to see him at Hoop Summit quite a bit in practices and in game. He was really efficient, and he's more of an in-game shooter than he is a practice guy. Just a bona fide gamer.
Ooh, McCoy tried to throw it down, back rim and out. Bediako coming up with the ball. Neath D'ing up Barrett.
There it is again, that soft touch.
I think that's the one thing people don't talk about enough when they're talking about Rowan Barrett Jr. The court vision and the touch on the passes. Saunders running off these. Zagu laying the body on the screen. Don't tell him it's a showcase. Jumper, not even close. Zagu again. Could have came down with an AM1.
Zagu's looking like he's hunting for an MVP. This guy's not messing around.
Absolutely. He definitely has had a look on him the last couple of months. Since Nationals in the NPA when GTA Prep went to the finals and lost, he's had a different look on him.
And Casey will be headed tomorrow to Western Michigan for his first official visit.
Zagu throwing down, has a little something to say to Rowan Barrett Jr. It's a little bit different of a showcase event when you have this much NBA scouts in attendance. You know, obviously we're going to have some high-flying plays, but like these guys want to win this game.
Yeah, and you noticed that and sensed it all throughout the practices as well. There was nobody that was really taking it easy on each other past 2 days. It's been quite intense even in the morning practice today.
Saunders' shot was no good, but again, the mess gets cleaned up as Team White has been able to battle back. Bediako baseline jumper. Ooh, the big man stepping out.
And good vision there by Bujoso, but I want to see Bediako come off of that a lot harder and be ready to attack the rim. The spacing there was perfect. The angle of the pass was on point.
There's just Sean Henry, the only player from Saskatchewan in this game. Kicks it back out. Takes Saunders a little bit to get the flow going, but he is pure from range. The lead's back up to 7 as Team White calls on some reinforcements about to check in at the table. Bediako short on that jumper, back the other way. Team Blue, 2:26 to go here in the opening quarter. The first ever signature All-Canadian Showcase live on NorthPoleHoops.com. I want to shout out our friends down south. Ballislife airing this as well to the masses.
Ballislife has been in the game for as long as I can remember.
Neath. No good. Price Knoll bringing it down, pushing it back the other way. Has Kaleem Bennett.
Not too easy. Defense falling asleep here for Blue.
As we mentioned, a lot of these players just got back from different cities down south playing in their AAU session. And here we go. Bujoso keeps it himself. Can't finish. Deshaun Henry pulls it down.
And Bujoso and Kaleem very familiar with each other. I thought he was going to look for him off the glass on that one. You know, Liam, he's a high flyer. He can get it done above the rim.
That's a Neath from range. Push the lead back up to 8. Delano Banton on there along with Fardaz Amok, who jumps out on Bennett. Bediako, a little small hook in the lane. The big man has a soft touch.
And both him and Amick share that. And Amick, one of the sleepers in 2018 for the Bigs.
Bennett, Bujoso, back up top to Bennett, but Jacoby Neath again. He scouted that very well. 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. I think both coaching staffs wanted to get through this opening 12 minutes. Most of them coaching in their first showcase event.
And most of these players playing in their first one as well. And I think once they shake off the nerves here in the first, I think we're going to see a whole different ball game the rest of the way.
Deshaun Henry has been trying to show that range that he has. That's got to feel good for the kid from Sask.
And you know what? He knows it. I'm not trying to embarrass him, but we've talked about it on multiple occasions, and he's addressing the three-point shot. That's been the knock on him. One thing he does do extremely well is slash. Straight line driver, can absorb contact on the way to the rim, can spin move and drop step and do all the in-between. The shot is the area that he's improving, and you saw that on the last shot there. Mechanics still coming together.
You may have saw it on the right bicep on that shot. Sean Henry tattoo on his right bicep for his father, Claude, who passed away last summer. Dedicated this season to his father. And now heading into this summer, a couple of showcase events and out on the AAU circuit for the first time. Really taken in being from Sask. He has the Humboldt bus tragedy on his mind as well. He lost a friend in that accident. So you want to talk about a player who has it all in perspective. That is Deshaun Henry as we get back to the final seconds here. Not holding for the last shot. Now Team White's going to have an opportunity with 3 seconds to go. Jabril Price-Knoll has it picked off. Back the other way. No good. 38-31 Team Blue with the lead after the opening 12 minutes. Stay with us. We'll be back live to the Hershey Center after a short break. Out to dry. You let me know.
The National Preparatory Association is expanding for season 3.
Are they too loud for you? We
Canada's
do have to
only
hear them.
national
They're too loud,
prep
yeah.
school basketball league.
Can we turn that down?
Accepting applications from high-level programs from coast to coast. The NPA provides top competition,
much better,
unrivaled exposure,
much better,
and every program will have an impact in the growth of the league. We may also be able to provide opportunities for individual players looking to join one of the NPA teams. The team application deadline is April 30th. Email info@northpolehoops.com to start the process for your chance to join a nation inspired.
We're back live. That's Franco Miller, one of the stars of the NPA this past season. Pass it off to Price-Knoll. The National Preparatory Association has a number of players in this event. Let's not forget the coaching staff as well. Kevin Jeffers, one of the legendary coaches out of the city of Toronto, coaching Team White. Coach of Central Tech in the NPA.
And Tomasi Gilgis-Alexander, number 4 in blue, brother of Kentucky alum Shea Alexander, who's headed to the draft this year.
Franco Miller back the other way. The bucket getter from the Bahamas and cleaning up the mess. The OSBA Defensive Player of the Year, Adong McCoy.
And coming out of Edmonton, Alberta. And in my opinion, man, I've been back and forth probably 8 times between Alberta and here in Toronto or Mississauga. And I tell you, that province is a sleeping giant. The genetic pool in that place is absolutely unbelievable.
There he is again, McCoy. And now with the ball right now, Delano Banton, a guy that a lot of people have forgotten north of the border. This kid is so long, can play multiple positions. I've been so impressed with what I've seen with him just in the last couple of weeks. From
a skill standpoint, I mean, you know, at 6'7", with that length, being able to handle the ball, being able to create for his teammates, play the point, play multiple positions on the wing. I think his versatility brings great value to Western Kentucky, and he's going to be a primary ball handler at some points. That time, just a really tough shot, and I think that's a all-star game shot, just trying to get in his groove.
Miller, nice look down low, NPA to NPA. Franco Miller Jr. to Patrick Emilian, and Emilian's a stock riser right now as well, Elias.
Picked up 5 offers in the last couple of weeks, in the last 2 months, really. He's going on a visit to Eastern Carolina this Wednesday. He's got Central Michigan, Western Michigan, Siena, Kent State, Canisius, all of which have offered.
Take a look there right now in our first timeout of the game. What's so special to me, you see what he can do. It just makes defenders not only have to deal with the athleticism and the strength, but kid's a lefty out there and can finish with both hands in close. It's impressive to me. This is impressive. Is Luguentz Dortz, who's just a tank out there. Couldn't finish, but really wherever he wants to get to. And Eze DK, throw it down, young man, repping Montreal.
And Yale got an absolute steal in the Ivy League. There's not many players that are built like him, that are as athletic as him and can slash like that.
Shouting out this replay to South Shore in Montreal, Villemar, Eze DK. He's bringing that to the Ivy League.
That's a PG, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a point guard?
That's what they're looking like these days.
And what a put-together young man. Had a chance to interview him this morning and could have talked to that kid for 20 minutes. Just unbelievable stature about him. As you take a look at Luguentz Dortz, Montreal to Montreal, I mean, Quebec is coming so hard in basketball circles.
And if you look at the provinces as a whole across Canada, I mean, you start with Ontario, that's the Mecca. You go to Quebec, that is the next and heavily, densely populated place for this level of talent. And then we take it to BC on the West Coast. Nova Scotia, for the population that it has, the amount of talent that it has come out of there as well. Most recently, Lindell Wigginton at Iowa State.
Those two bodies coming together there in Dortz and Franco Miller. Nice move to the baseline. And to finish, Trinell Edwards. Miller, pull up.
And Trey's one of those sleeper guys in 2019, a guy that people are really going to learn about on the Nike EYBL circuit over the course of the summer. That's a 2019 prospect, lights out shooter.
Oh, ball's coming towards two players about to check in for Team White, and RJ Barrett and David Wuya. Oh, two players not used to play with each other trying to connect there, and Franco Miller and Patrick Emelian. Emelian does finish it up as this game, we're at 46-43 with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. We got an over-under if we're getting to a 200-point game today or what?
Something like that, that's for sure.
Brandon John has it stripped. Back the other way as a DK. No look. Emelian cleans up his own. Oh, he does not. He's been battling an ankle injury. Don't know how much floor time you're going to be able to get out of him today as Gilgis Alexander. That's not Shea. That's the younger brother.
A lot of upside with Tomasi. That length, you're starting to see some muscle pack on. And he's playing the point at that 6'4"-ish frame. You know, it's to have that kind of size and be able to see over some defenses. Here's Casey.
These are two guys that know each other very well, J.D. Muya, or David Muya, and Casey Zagu. And like this is what I find it like. It's a showcase game. Obviously, we're going to see a lot of one-on-one matchups. But you see as a DK and Andrew Nembhard, you know DK wants to try to make a name right now.
And that's one thing that he actually specified and talked about when we spoke before this game. I'm not coming to just, I'm not coming just to be in an all-star game. I'm coming to compete and I'm going to defend, and whatever I get on the offensive end is a bonus.
Jabril Price Noel off the Muya screen, splits it, almost finished. Muya there trying to clean up the mess. You cannot tell Casey Zagu or David Muya that this is just an exhibition game.
No, they're ready to compete, man. And Casey's done an incredible job with his physique. This is a guy that gets up at 5:30 in the morning, no excuses, every single day, has the same training regimen.
Ooh, RJ, step back, fresh off the bench and a spank to the bum of Casey Zagu. Said, you can't give me that room, son. Noah Kirkwood does all the little things, does Noah Kirkwood. I'll take him on my team as my first pick any day. DK, no good, little battle. RJ gets pulled down by Kirkwood, a couple of U19 champs, and Luguentz trying to put DK on a poster. That was a little Montreal violence almost.
No one's getting anything free over here.
So, Montreal Nord's own Luguentz Dortz steps back to cash a three.
And you saw Casey in the first quarter really doing it all. And now it's Luguentz.
Luguentz Dort is not here to take part. He's here to take over. Rowan Barrett Jr. seeing the double team. That'll happen a couple of times. Finds the open man, but Lawson just couldn't hold on to it. You're going to take a look right now. Nice bounce pass. Noah Kirkwood to Luguentz Dort. Throwing down. I love Noah Kirkwood's game. For a game like this, like, you know, he's not going to absolutely stand out, but every coach loves Noah Kirkwood.
What's not to love with a kid like that, man? He's just so mature.
What's not to love about the Andrew Nembhard no look?
Prime time PG. Florida Gators, you're getting a good one.
Putting it on a platter. Oh, Casey Zagu. Changing one shot, blocking another. Team Blue on the run once again. Nembhard has it sent back by DK. Ooh, late foul call. Feel bad for the officials. You got to wait for the players to turn around before they can call the number on the foul.
And DK is playing really well in this game. Looks like Coach Jeffers is going to leave him out. Oh, no, he's going to sub him out. Tyrese Samuel stepping into the mix. Another kid whose recruitment has really blown up. Vanderbilt really showing some strong interest in Samuel. And the one thing that keeps reoccurring in my notes and the notes of others is, will he keep his motor on? That's something that he knows he has to address.
Nembhard at the line. Has a pretty good younger brother as well.
Oh, he might surpass him.
Who are you talking about? Give me the name.
Ryan might surpass him, man. He's no
Ryan
joke.
Nembhard. Remember that name, folks. That's the way. That's where we're at with Canadian basketball. is the older brother still hasn't made his mark at the second level. And we're talking about the younger brother. R.J. Barrett sends it back. Check that ball for a bruise. Ooh, Dortz almost ran. Barrett asking the official. Kevin Jeffers gets in on it. Card-carrying member of the officiating community is Kevin Jeffers having a little chat with the official. Don't tell these coaching staffs that this is a showcase game either. They haven't sat once.
Coach Jeffers doesn't play for fun. I've never seen him play for fun.
Team Blue has Jeremy K.I. on the sidelines.
And it's been a takeover here in the second.
Against Dortz. Back-to-back BioSteel MVP at the line. Cash in the second. And Dortz, you know, we talk about R.J. Barrett's mentality. Luguentz Dortz focused as well. Nembhard gets it. Spiked by Colleen Bennett, and Emmanuel Miller's there for the cleanup.
And most people, when they saw these rosters, I mean, you got A.J. Lawson, Tyrese Samuel, R.J. Barrett all on the same team. They're looking at it like, wait a minute, this is a little bit uneven. But now these guys find themselves down.
R.J. Barrett's got the look in his eye tonight. Kirkwood was right up on him. He just drains it from range. Nembhard loses it, gets it back. Nice little pocket pass. Barrett getting his hands in the passing lane, comes up with the steal. Pushing it the other way. Into the corner. A.J. Lawson back up top. How do you leave him open? Missed it though. Put back Tyrese Samuel. Dortz, 1-on-3. Luguentz Dortz! Luguentz Dortz is here to make noise before he heads down to Arizona State. Casey Azagu cleaning it up for a two-handed slam.
And I think the crowd just woke up to that one.
That is Dortz.
It's a man-child.
So strong is Luguentz Dortz. Look, Kirkwood all over Barrett. And there comes the hands. Luguentz Dortz, steal and slam. You can just see the look in Dortz's eyes. Another steal, and he has Nembhard with him. That is impressive.
Very unselfish as well.
Dortz passes it up to Andrew Nembhard, throwing down. Team Blue having fun right now. The lead's up to 17. They've put up 70. Alongside R.J. Barrett. Another look there, Luguentz Dortz, who has been absolutely ripping tin all day long. He's focused, Elias. Luguentz Dortz is here to take home another MVP award.
And Dortz, one of the most physically dominant specimens here in this game. Arizona State, headed there for his freshman season.
Bujoso gets cut off. Bediako doing what he does. Look at the perfect pass laid in there for Miller. He gets it back to Nembhard in rhythm, and it's Cash from downtown.
And this blue team is clicking. In transition, as soon as that board comes down, you look for Nembhard. He's going to find you.
Corner 3. Count it. Another timeout. Team Blue wants to talk it over. These coaches want to make sure they use up their 2 timeouts each in the first half. And when you talk about Luguentz, Dortz, and you talk about Montreal, I mean, kids in Montreal are looking up to this young man right here, and he is willing to put that city on his back.
And he's done it on both ends of the floor. He continues to do it in season. This year, Athlete Institute was just completely dominant, man. And you know how much the game means to him. When they got eliminated this year, he was like tears, sincere tears flowing down his face. He cares about winning. That is one of the biggest things with this kid.
I got a story for you. Put up 46 points, I believe, in the loss in the OSBA championship tournament. I think in the semifinals, I believe. His head coach, Charles Hantomakos, kind of, said what he needed to say to everybody. Came back into the locker room, and it was Luguentz Dortz cleaning up the locker room. Like, he's the star of that team. He's cleaning up the locker room after that loss. He was so upset he had to put his mind to something. That is the character that we see in Luguentz Dortz.
Yeah, the maturity level with this kid, man, he's ahead of everybody else, or a lot of these guys. I'm not going to say everybody else, but a lot of these guys. He just knows what's at stake at all times, knows that he's an NBA prospect, and he's, heading in that direction.
RJ Barrett forcing it, getting through. Foul called on the floor. It's like a Golden State Warriors game we're calling out here. Bujoso inbounding, down low. Barrett working onto Sean Henry. Gets his own, it's that second jump by RJ Barrett.
And RJ Barrett's starting to rack it up. Cuts down the lead.
Saunders. Pocket picked, Bujoso. Finds Brown, nice look, nice passing. Give us a little reverse style, Tyrese Samuel. Oh, and Samuel gets it back. Possible showtime. That's a stock riser, Elias.
Talk to me about Tyrese Samuel. 6'7", man, and able to really handle it, able to play both ends of the floor at different positions. He's going to be a special one. A lot of high majors really starting to look at him.
Here we go again. Oh, a little sloppy, and Blue gets it back. They got numbers that they can make it work. A little floater. Nope. Emak. Foul from behind. Samuel's going to get called on it. There you see Tyrese Samuel throwing down 2019, I believe?
2019, that's right. He's got a long list of offers. Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Vandy, Baylor. The list goes on. Kansas State. They've really taken interest in him as of last summer on the AAU circuit. Him and RJ played side by side.
We got a 2018 big man at the line. I know you know an awful lot about him.
And Fardas, yeah, I mentioned him earlier. Fardas is one of the best sleepers in this game. He's headed to Mercer, committed just last week. One of the more skilled bigs. He could really extend his range and pop out to the three-point line.
Under a minute to go. Neath keeping it himself for the finish. Jacoby, a point guard with a shooting guard's body. He's such an exciting player to watch, is Jacoby Neath, a name that you're going to hear pick up. And that's what's great. I mean, we have some high-end players here, obviously, but the next generations that are on this floor as well. You hear these names maybe for the first time today. You're going to be hearing them an awful lot in the coming years, my friends. Ooh, tough finish, 11-point lead for Team Blue, can hold for the final shot. Just a half-second difference, game clock, shot clock. Neath. Ooh, tough pass. Brown picks it off. Numbers the other way. Who wants it? Tyrese Samuel.
And you've seen a lot of pieces from Team White get involved here and in the mix, and Samuel really using his length.
Once again, Team White couldn't beat the clock. A 9-point lead for Team Blue as RJ Barrett's Team White squad are trailing heading into halftime, and Tyrese Samuel has been putting on a show for Team White.
I wanna fly, can you take me far away? Give me a star to reach for, tell me what it takes, and I'll go so high, my feet won't touch the ground. Just hitch my wings and pull the strings. I brought these dreams that all fall down.
The nice thing about him is he's a basketball player. There is no position defined for him. He's learning the skills. He's learning the skills of playing the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the guard at all the positions.
The last thing what makes RJ Jr. so special is that he wants to be special. He's willing to do the work to become special. He's open to learning. He has his flaws like everyone else does, but he recognizes his flaws. He knows he can keep working on them. And he's never satisfied even with his own strengths as a basketball player. So that's what makes him special.
Number 7, Barrett, Jr.
That's my boy. He never stopped seeing to amaze me. And when we were in the game, like, I could tell what he was gonna do. I was like, he's my boy. I'm gonna just let him, show out. So, but the chemistry's really good. We're roommates right now, and everything. So.
I call him a professional scorer. That's definitely going to translate to the NBA game. He is relentless on getting around you and getting to the basket and getting to the foul lines. And that's what I respect about him. I'm a huge fan of his.
That's all. Okay, showtime.
RJ making the splash takes his rightful throne at number 1, and I think regardless of class, he would have been there anyways. Maybe even number 1 in North America, let alone the Canadian rankings. Was the leading scorer in the most competitive league in the world at the amateur level. At 6'7", a guy that's playing 2 and 1, that's a deadly combination.
I think the first thing with RJ is he has goals, right? He has goals that he's set out, that he's driving for. So that's always great, right? Because all you ever really have to do is continue to focus him towards the goals he set. If you're trying to achieve the things that he is, I think that he's a hard worker, he's been a consistent worker, and oh, here he comes. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being number 1 in the world, there's no conversation about it, there's no discussion about it. But what's next for you? What are your goals?
Pretty simple, go to college and go to the NBA and be a star.
RJ, you've played in China, in Egypt, coast to coast, across the U.S., this just in the last 9 months. But how important and how special is it for you to be able to play one last high school game right here in Mississauga?
Yes, it's definitely special. I get to play against and with my friends in this last game. I can't remember the last time. It's been way too long. I think everyone loves to play at home in front of their friends, their family. You're right, I have played all over the world, and it's been a great experience. But to have my last game in Canada means a lot. There's a lot of trash talk going on, but it's definitely gonna be a fun event.
World champion, United States high school champion, the multiple Player of the Year awards. You've done so much in 9 months. How do you stay grounded?
For one, my parents told me that you can't control the rankings. Whatever happens, happens. You could control how hard you work. And on top of that, I know so many people, like my godfather's a Hall of Famer, my dad was an Olympian, my mom ran track in the NCAA, so I have a lot of people that have done a lot more than I have, so it's kind of hard, without even being one of the best in your own family.
It's been said that you have to learn to lose before you win, and everybody's seen you win. You have lost basketball games, and what did that do for you at a young age to prepare you for the games that you play now?
The 2 years before this at Nembhard Academy, we lost in our national championship. That really fueled me, motivated me, I guess, to get better and work harder, get in the gym every day. And since then, it's just really taught me how to work hard to be a winner, and everything's just shown this year. By any means, I don't think I'm, nowhere close to where I want to be in the future, so there's still a lot of work to be done.
And that's part of it. You're not a finished product. What do you see? Is there a player out there that you see playing right now in the NBA that you're like, okay, if I stay on this track and I continue to put that work in, I can be like that?
I want to be better than all of them. So, but one guy that I do see is LeBron. He works really hard. He's year 15 and he's still doing some crazy things. So if he works hard and he's the best player on the planet, then how much harder do I have to work?
You're only 17, but now you're at the point where you have young kids looking up to you. Have you had a chance to think about that, being a mentor now, and the fact that people are going to now try to emulate what you've been able to do?
I haven't really thought about it too much because I'm still in high school, so it's kind of weird. But I do remember being in the gym with, Tristan and Corey and Wiggins, and remember looking up to those guys and saying I want to be in their position one day. These are just little milestones on the road to the big goal that I want to achieve. That's
what I wanted to ask you. What are your goals? Fill us in.
From day one, I've always wanted to be a Hall of Famer, NBA champion, All-Star. I want to be the best ever, really. I think that's what every kid wants, and I feel that I really have a good chance to be that.
Every time you walk on the floor now, people are looking at you. How does that feel? What does that do to you?
Getting used to it. I know I can't control what people say or think or anything, so I just go out there and just play my game and compete. Like I said, I feel if I compete harder than someone else, I always had the advantage.
I've seen in you've become more of an alpha dog in this last year. Is that something that you thought about, or is that something that has just come out of you naturally?
I think I've always kind of been that way, but as the years going on, I'm getting more confident in my abilities. It's just coming out. Like I said, just going in and taking it.
And now you're heading to Duke. You have a bullseye on you, and now that entire team has a bullseye on them. Do you enjoy that?
I think Duke has a bullseye every year. But definitely talking with the guys, we love it. It brings more attention to us. We have to play on a bigger stage every night. And really, as a competitor, that's what you live for, to show your abilities on the biggest stage.
Okay, let's keep it going. Keep the intensity high.
Get your feet square, get your feet square.
Take it home, write it down, grab a homie, and work on it. Work on it, master it.
AJ Lawson, go! He gets it to go! Wow. Check it out, Jalen.
Oh my God!
Top 10, top 10.
Two-way players are the best players. Understand that. Two-way players are the best players.
Here's Sabri Phillip, two-hand jam!
Let's go, boy!
It doesn't matter from what city you're from, how tall you are, what school, what club you represent. Game speaks. There's no politics here.
national champion.
Yet again, a 10-point advantage restored for Team Blue. Oh! It's Judy Charges throwing it down!
Welcome to the NPH live broadcasting experience. Allow our team of video technicians to capture your event in high definition. Streaming directly on all NPH media platforms. Up-to-the-minute live game coverage featuring professional commentators and analysts.
Tip in! No good! 2 seconds to go! Oh!
Commercial spots available to promote and market your brand, event, or product. Enjoy the ultimate way to catch the game when you can't.
That man from Quebec can fly!
Exposure starts here.
Samuel on the handoff.
Coach didn't like it. He said they had to go to the other way.
To go in the first half.
What's that? Get the daddy. Hey. Oh! And one!
And dribble. Miller gets into the lane.
Today they only had 10 players here.
Wow.
Hey, give me two, Lewis. Give me two.
go somewhere, doesn't matter what level per se at the D1 spot, but are you going to go somewhere where you've had a relationship with the coaching staff for the longest of time? You know that your position is needed and wanted. You are familiar with the plays of the team. You've been watching them a little bit. You've been studying them.
Player looking for a nice fit right now is Deshaun Henry. Check his ego at the door, go to a school that maybe doesn't look as great on paper, but he can go down and step right in at a starting role.
Well, let's use Fardas Amick as an example, right? He's a kid from British Columbia who went over to Bridgeton Academy, one of the top programs in America in the East, and he's a guy who didn't really have a ton of looks, and then it started to heat up for him. You saw the Butler interest was starting to come alive, and he ends up committing to the school that was on one of the schools that were on him the longest, which was Mercer. Excellent fit for him. He's going to come in. He's going to play big minutes right away. He's still going to work on his body, but you don't get better sitting on the bench. That's the bottom line. You want to come in as a freshman with confidence. You want to come in earning your keep, of course, but having at least an opportunity, putting yourself in a situation that you have an opportunity to prove yourself.
And a fit with a coaching staff as well, because we saw it this year at Pitt, right? It's all about winning for these coaches, right? And when it comes down to it, an NCAA coach needs to win games in order to keep his job. And if you come in, it doesn't matter what he tells you before you commit. If you come in and you don't deliver and you have a couple of bad games or even a couple of bad practices, if you're on one of these big-name schools that has a roster full of high-talent prospects, pretty soon you can see yourself at the end of that bench, and that's why we see so many transfers. Am I right?
That's right. No, you're absolutely right. And look at Ezedike. He had lots of high major interest. Some of the Power 5 conferences were starting to get involved. But at the beginning, him and his family knew that the academics was going to be a big part of it. This is a 90+% academic average on Ezedike. He ends up committing to Yale. Well, that's a perfect fit. And his style of play and his athleticism, it's not something that is commonly found at the Ivy League level. Now, the Ivy League stepped it up big time. Don't get it twisted. Princeton, Harvard, other programs in the Ivy League have really, really picked it up. Yale's had their years as well. My point is, yes, as you mentioned from the beginning, for our Canadian guys, because they don't know, because coaches at the next level are not as familiar or have not recruited them as long, it's so much more important that they get to the right spot and that they don't fall into the whole transfer, bonanza, if you will.
And let's talk about the Ivy League a little bit. The Canadian flavor in the Ivy League is becoming like you can't talk about the Ivy League without talking about Canadian players right now. I mean, Noah Kirkwood, obviously at Harvard, he's going to be joining a couple of Canadians down there. Princeton, Jerome DeRosier, and also
Jalen Llewellyn. Yeah.
And talk to me about Llewellyn, because I've heard you mention a one and done. One and done in the Ivy League is absolutely unheard of.
Unheard of, right? Now, Jalen, he boasts this ability to really play above the rim. He has a lot of what we call transferable traits that go on to the next level. Now, explosiveness, he's got it. Switching direction, he's got it. Switching speeds, playing above the rim, finishing on 6'10 guys. Those are all things that you don't see often. Not everybody carries those traits. But with Jalen Llewellyn, it's very evident. He will be playing at the highest levels.
And the Ivy League now Harvard last year was a favorite. They ended up losing to I believe Penn in the championship last year, and they end up getting the NCAA berth. But you're guaranteed to get that NCAA berth because everybody knows you want to be in March Madness. That used to be the knock a little bit when it comes to Ivy League. That no longer is an issue. And I mean, when it comes down, one thing we haven't talked about at all in this broadcast is academics. You are an athlete second and academics first.
Absolutely, and then with these guys, I think that's the reason why there's an influx of coaches coming in and recruiting. Is because they don't have to they don't have to worry as much with guys switching 3 different schools, 4 different prep schools. Most of our guys are taken care of.
Now we're going to go to the in-house mic for a couple of award presentations here at halftime. Couple of worthy award recipients there. Andrew Nembhard, Playmaker of the Year, Andrew Nembhard.
And Player of the Year, go figure.
2 guys that just won a U.S. National High School Championship together at Montverde Academy. They just won all season long. After losing in the finals, they wanted a little redemption, and they got it.
And you could see the look in these guys' eyes in the second half here, just coming onto the court. I don't know what R.J. Barrett or Coach Jeffers has talked to them about, but they seem to have a different type of body language entering the second half.
77-68, Team Blue heading into the second half. Someone's dropping a 50-piece tonight. Just have this feeling.
RJ had 22 in the first half. He's almost halfway there.
And you know, Luguentz, Dortz matching them shot for shot. 2 guys that have a history going at each other. Ontario versus Quebec. There's Dortz, no good. White running. Back the other way. R.J. Barrett Jr. from downtown. That was a long halftime. That was a 20-minute halftime. Barrett comes out, quick, boom, flamethrower, always on hot.
And that's his 5th 3 of the game. A lot of guys talking about he can't shoot. He's an in-game shooter. Saw him at Hoop Summit. Saw him drilling shots. And in drill work, no, he's not as good. He's a gamer. He's a gamer. He makes in-game shots.
He's got to have something on the line. Oh, Joel Brown.
Talked about Joel Brown's craftiness and just ability to slither and get where he wants on the floor.
Warnholtz, cash it. Aiden Warnholtz, you know, not somebody you look at as a showcase player. You want to talk about a student athlete, Aiden Warnholtz, 96% average this season as the NPA's Academic Player of the Year. 96% average in your senior season.
Joel Brown here on the inbound to Tyrese.
Yeah, Kevin Jeffers switching up his starting five for the second half, seeing what he's got. You see the eyes of RJ Barrett. He gets cut off. Delano Banton jumping out on him. Tried to pull it. Pull up is too late. I think that's our first 24-second shot clock violation. You haven't had any issue seeing the guys getting shots up today. Dort with Barrett on him. They switch off. Bediako comes out. Bediako says, I don't want him. Someone else jump out. Oh, what a pretty pass, Luguentz Dort. As it's sent back, Barrett, all kinds of contact. RJ Barrett
Easy
just
blow
finds
by.
his way around.
And you can see he's about to turn it up right now.
Well, he knows that we got some Dookie fans watching from down south. Oh, Banton, look away dish.
Just like that, we got a 4-point game.
Joel Brown, nice pass to RJ Barrett. He wants to take that rim home with him. Banton working on Samuel into the corner. Warnholtz, nice pump fake, dish to Dort. Oh, spin move against Dort, inviting the contact, gets it back and finishes up.
That's how you know the dude is strong, when big men are bouncing off of him.
I mean, Aiden Warnholtz sending it home. Aiden Warnholtz tried to put that one on Matheson Boulevard. That is the most unexpected block I would have saw this season. Sorry, this game and this season. I called his entire year this year, and give us a replay on that. Aiden Warnholtz with the swat. That's going on the career highlight reel.
Checking back into the game for Blue, Noah Kirkwood, Emmanuel Miller, Andrew Nembhard, and Casey Izagu. Izagu was big in the first half on both ends of the floor.
Izagu came this evening and ate everybody's lunch and dinner in that first quarter. He just took the lunch bag from him and ate the lunch in front of him. That was the first quarter for Casey Izagu.
And for coaches who are watching this game at the Division I level, Casey's a 2018 6'10 center. Western Michigan has offered. He takes a visit tomorrow, as previously mentioned. And a lot of other interest bubbling up still.
DK, McCoy, and Bujoso all checking into the game. Some great handles in this game, and I'm talking about names. Bujoso, been wanting to call that all week. Impressive young man. Casey Izagu just steamrolling into the lane to get to the line to shoot two.
When he comes off that spin and protects it, man, it's really tough not to foul him. You're either going to get out of the way and like just stay as clean as possible and let him score, or you got to hack him.
Good example of a guy, you know, with the prep basketball level in Canada rising, good example of a guy who went down south and saw, maybe the grass wasn't greener on the other side, comes home this season and under the tutelage of David Cooper, really has put it together offensively. DK hands it off, Bujoso. Brown. Ooh. And a turnover, Blue pushing it back. Nembhard. Ooh, through contact, basket and the bump. Andrew Nembhard, the signature playmaker of the year, going to the line, looking to finish the three-point play.
And the SEC is in for a surprise with Nembhard. I mean, most of Florida has gotten to know him quite well, considering that, he played a majority of his high school career down there. But the rest of the SEC, I hope you know what's coming.
And DK inbounding. Finds Bujoso.
AJ Lawson back in the game for White. #1 overall player in the Canadian North Pole Hoops 2019 national rankings.
Well, you mentioned Bujoso a bunch of times. Forgot to mention, you heading to University of Loyola Chicago, and this is what I love. A year ago, maybe not a name you would know when it comes to a school. All of a sudden, everybody knows who that school is, that Final Four berth. Lawson inviting contact. There's that second leap from Lawson. He did hit the rim, so the shot clock does reset. Kirkwood, ooh, pulls it back. Bujoso reached, but Kirkwood could not finish.
Thought about making that long pass to AJ Lawson, opted out.
2 Defensive Player of the Years coming together there in McCoy and Izagu. Nembhard working off the Izagu screen. He slips it. Oh, AJ Lawson read that play. Pushing back the other way. DK cradles it like a running back. Inbounding is DK, finds Bujoso. Lawson was cut and Kirkwood cut that off. DK. Ooh, pulls out the big, little mouse in the house, but the pass was off target. Kirkwood picks it up. Oh, Kirkwood crossing over to the right and finishing. You want to talk about a guy, you know, when he was up here, he was playing, I guess, 2-3-4. And like you mentioned, they're looking at him at the point guard position.
Well, even with the national team, they played him at the 3 a couple of times.
And then stepped in and played the point when they needed him due to injuries.
That's right. And him and Danilo Djuricic have had some playing experience together, and they'll meet once again at Harvard.
Couple of Canadian Harvard boys are going to be putting on a show next year in the Ivy League. I have to get myself an Ivy League pass next year with all the Canadians down there.
No kidding.
And Jerome DeRosier is another guy that I love for Princeton. And you know, it didn't have a great season, but I mean, that kid is going to get stronger as things go on. But I mean, he is a next level body and definitely a double-double projected player there. And we have Jalen Llewellyn coming to run the point for you. Isn't going to be too bad for the Tigers.
Well, the beauty with Jalen Llewellyn is he could score and distribute. He could do whatever the team needs him to do. He could defend bigger guys due to his athleticism. Excuse me.
And he could tutor the rest of your team, if need
not
be.
That they need that at
if
Princeton.
need be. Leads back up to 10 for Team Blue. The first ever signature All-Canadian showcase. Produced and brought to you by North Pole Hoops. Jason Tom here alongside Elias Sabate, the only national Canadian scout. Izagu getting back to his first quarter ways. You know, he doesn't need to, I know he's been trying to expand his range, doesn't need to when he can finish that well down low.
And the blue team again extending their lead. Now back
line
at 10.
Change coming up for Team Blue. 4 guys lined up, ready to come in. Bujoso picking pockets. Oh, Casey Izagu sends it back. Trying to put that one past Kennedy Road.
Defensive Player of the Year right there, National Preparatory Association. He killed it all season long, man. He really took care of home base.
Bujoso did not see Casey coming. And he's very focused. I mean, he doesn't stand around, do an awful lot of talking, doesn't show up anybody. He's just here to pack his lunchbox, do his work, head home, and hopefully pick up some more offers at that next level, the 2018 Casey Izagu.
I personally think that, you know, Western Michigan is an excellent fit for him. There's a clear need for him. They want him really bad. I'm not saying close it up and don't entertain anybody else, but if it ends up being, if he goes on this visit tomorrow and it ends up being Western Michigan, he is going to do damage
Bujoso at the line. University of Loyola Chicago commit out of the Hammer, Hamilton, Ontario. Shutout Kia Nurse. Heading into the WNBA next season. Oh, AJ Lawson takes off and throws down. AJ Lawson is a name you're going to hear an awful lot about in the coming years, folks. Mark our words. AJ is so fast, so long. What position is this guy playing?
I find him, I look at him as like a point forward. He could do a little bit of everything, and that's the reason why, you know, programs like Oregon, Vanderbilt, Baylor, Creighton, all these programs, Maryland has offered recently, Illinois. That's the reason. When you look at a guy like this, you look at NBA potential, pure NBA potential. Now, he adds the production element as well. That's what it is, production versus or plus potential that is enabled Lawson to really blow up on the scene. Ooh. Tried to climb the ladder on that one against Amick.
I think that would have shut it down. He was a good 5 feet away from the rim at that point. It's a 6-point lead right now for Team Blue.
And Lawson getting very familiar with high-level competition, playing at the EYBL this year. And again, as I mentioned earlier, kind of filling the void, if you will, of RJ Barrett from the AAU circuit. I think the thing that separates RJ from everybody else is just where he's at mentally. He's just wired differently. The way that he prepares for games, the fine details. I'll make that, you know, that Jamal Murray comparison once again. You know, back in the day, Jamal Murray, 9th grader, and we said we're going to put him above Justin Jackson in the rankings. Well, everyone looked at us and said, are you crazy? Justin Jackson, 6'7", point forward, this, that, and the other. Well, what separates him? It's the intangibles. The intangibles have the ability to take you far further than physical limitations and gifts, natural gifts.
AJ Lawson dropping a dime to Franco Miller, then with the steal, saves it back. Kaleem Bennett back to Miller. Look who McCoy filling the lane. Timeout on the floor. Don't look now. Tied at 92. That could be a final score right there, but not in this game, folks. Still got 4.5 left in this third quarter as you look at Franco Miller Jr. shouting out the 2-4-2, putting it on a platter for McCoy to devour. Two-handed sandwich. We're talking about AJ Lawson a bunch this game, and we've both seen it in this third quarter, starting to get in his flow, and you're going to see what this kid could do. He's got that clutch gene as well, Elias.
We've seen him on so many occasions, you know, be able to create his own offense, be able to knock down shots at the final moments of games. A lot of the NBA personnel loved what they saw about him in the Bahamas, loved what they saw about him during All-Star Weekend. He's just a terrific talent, man. And as his body continues to fill and you start to see his shoulders bulk up a little bit and really fill that frame, that's when he becomes a scarier looking prospect. You look at him already lengthy and able to defend so well.
I think that's what I've seen, just generally speaking, and watching Canadian basketball evolve over the last decade plus, is the physical attributes of these kids is just continuing to extend, and this is size that we've never seen before, top to bottom. And I mean, that's where we were always trailing in the U.S. was genetics. That is no longer the case.
Here's Kaleem Bennett, Central Arkansas commit.
Ooh, tough finish over to Sean Henry. I was just going to say, Sean Henry really prides himself on being able to kind of guard a 1-3, a 1-4, but tough finish by Bennett over top of him there.
And that's actually a very good matchup because they do a lot of the same things on the slashing side, getting to the rim, finishing through contact.
Franco Miller Jr. looking ahead. Protects the ball. Oh, beautiful look to Lawson, but Muya has it sent back by the big man, Amac. Back the other way. Neath, Henry going to the baseline. Can't finish. Banton trying to tip it back in, but he gets the ball back. Ooh, sidestep. 3. Muya again. Almost has it taken away. White's going to get it back. Again, you're watching the first ever Signature All-Canadian Showcase. Thank you for tuning in. Franco Miller Jr., you're live on NorthPoleHoops.com. Thank you for joining us. Luguentz Dortz has been putting on a show for Team Blue. Heading back to the line. Had a strong start to the third quarter, picked up another foul and had to head out. Now he's back at the line right now. Looking to add to his point total.
Lawson taking a breather for Jabril Price-Noel.
Take a look at the physical stature of Luguentz Dortz. One of the things I heard, like, he had lifted younger in his life, and he hasn't been hitting the weight. He's been pulling back on that because of the size that he already has, like the natural
just really able to pack it on.
Unbelievable. Oh, Miller. Dortz skying for the board over top of McCoy.
Risky.
Sean Henry picks it up. Wing 3, Jacoby Neath, cash it from downtown. The bench is starting to get into it. 2.5 left here in the third quarter. Joel Brown working on Henry, pulls it back out. Price-Noel feeding it into the post. Casey Izagu cutting that off. Couple of Team Canada U19 World Championship teammates just checking back in. RJ Barrett for Team White, Emmanuel Miller for Team Blue. Miller really one of those unsung heroes for that Team Canada squad. Maybe didn't play the minutes you'd expect, but to be able to bring it in practice as one of a defensive lockdown mentality. He really pushed guys in that U19 camp that happened in Mississauga last June.
And he's going to get his time. He's going to get his chance. He knew that coming into Team Canada camp, he was going to be used as a defensive matchup guy. He got to learn a little bit from guys like Abu Kigab, guys like RJ with the national team, and just kind of find his role.
Henry, no good. But that was what was so special about that U19 squad. They were without so many big names. It really galvanized that squad, and they all bought into their roles. Noah Kirkwood, for example, could be a starter on 95% of the teams that he played on in his life. Knew that he wouldn't play a lot. Oh.
I thought that was a great defensive play there. I did not.
Casey Izagu does not take games off.
No, not a possession off. He's got about 3 or 4 blocks in this one.
I would like to count that one as a block, even though I want to shout out the official in our camera view consistently. As I say it to the senior official to my right. Bediako. A guy that we've seen grow before our very eyes. And somebody who's starting to get that mean streak that you want in your big man. And here's that one-on-one matchup. Dortz on Barrett. Dortz turns it over. Into the corner. Joel Brown gets locked up by Deshaun Henry, but the tip in by Bediako. I'll tell you right now, Bediako and Izagu are having themselves a little one-on-one. This game's went on long enough for people to start disliking each other, and those two are doing it. And there's Izagu from downtown over top of Bediako.
How about them apples? He's got that in his arsenal, by the way. He can hit those pretty consistently.
Oh, R.J. Barrett, did he call glass? We'll give it to him. Neath. It's amazing how much business started to pick up here in the last couple of minutes of this quarter.
He's got a nice little fan club Neath has here behind us.
Working on Henry, just Sean Henry locking him up. Hey, for a game that's 103 to 100, Deshaun Henry is taking the opportunity to show what he can do on the defensive end. Deshaun Saunders, Andrew Nembhard about to check in for Team Blue. Against Dortz, finds himself back at the line. And you figure when he gets to Arizona State, he's been doing a lot of damage from the charity stripe because he invites contact with that wide body that he has. And he's so fast and just constantly going downhill. He's going to be at the line consistently.
And as he prepares, for the following year, probably a one-and-done guy entering the draft, He's got to continue to transition to that point guard position.
Speaking of one and done, Rowan Barrett Jr. from downtown. Ooh, and then the block on his friend Nembhard. Dort can't finish. Nembhard gets it back.
And then the rim blocks him.
Sent back. Here we go. 8 on the clock. Price Noel. 2 off glass. He has a little smile. Franco Miller said, we could have kept it from me. I would have thrown it down. 108-102. Oh, look now, Team White that was down 20 is suddenly up 6. Third quarter is done. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the fourth after a short break live on NorthPoleHoops.com. Quick thank you to all the sponsors for the signature All-Canadian Showcase, the first ever, live on North Pole Hoops. Awful lot of people to put this game together. We've got ourselves a nice crowd out here considering everything that went on today in the city of Toronto. I want to send our condolences to everybody in the beautiful city of Toronto suffering. Right now, with all of the issues that went on in the north end of Toronto, I live down in that city, and to think about all the people hurting right now is something that we want to keep in our minds, and it's something that, you know, takes over the sport of basketball a lot of the times, and we have to keep everything in perspective. So with that, we'll continue our short break, and we'll be back with fourth quarter action.
Okay, let's keep it going. Keep the intensity high.
Get your feet square, get your feet square. Take it home, write it down, grab a homie, and work on it. work on it, master it.
AJ Lawson, go! He gets it to go! Wow. Check it out, Jalen.
Oh my God!
Top 10, top 10.
Two-way players are the best players. Understand that. Two-way players are the best players.
Here's Sabri Phillip, two-hand jam!
Let's go, boy!
It doesn't matter from what city you're from, how tall you are, what school, what club you represent. Game speaks. There's no politics here.
We're at the signature All-Canadian Showcase, and RJ Barrett is going to use this fourth quarter to enjoy his final high school game here in his home city of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada.
And he's not trying to come off this floor with an L. Team White has one of their fewest leads of the game, 110-104 here in the fourth.
Bediako no good. Nembhard pushing back the other way. Nice look. Couldn't finish. Gets it back. E-Man Miller still no good. Barrett with the ball.
There's going to be times next year where you see RJ play a little bit of point guard at Duke. He's got those. He's got the handle. He can see over the defense, and he's unselfish. Like, we look at him as a scoring machine, but he's extremely unselfish.
Noah Kirkwood just racking up the steals. Oh, almost saved it.
One too many passes on that one.
Joel Brown was no good, but RJ Barrett cleaned up that mess as Kashawn Saunders wanted to inbound that ball as quickly as he could. Not get caught on that poster.
#1 prospect in the class of 2019 in Canada, AJ Lawson, just passed it off. Had an incredible season with GTA Prep, a first-team All-Star in the National Preparatory Association.
He's going to be interrupting you all fourth quarter, Elias. That RJ Barrett kid.
By all means.
This is RJ Barrett time. This is fourth quarter, but this is AJ Lawson. Foul on the 4, I believe.
Hey, be alert! Watch the handoff here!
Just 2 minutes into this fourth quarter. It's not overtime, folks. That is the score in the fourth quarter, 114-104. From downtown, count it.
And right now you got 2 point guards on the floor, maybe 4 actually. If you look at Noah Kirkwood as a bona fide point guard, you got him, Luguentz, Jacoby Neath, and Andrew Nembhard, and just one center. This is going to allow them to really pick up the speed in this game and get out in transition. Try to push for a late lead here, down just 7.
Ooh, Nembhard fakes the pass, keeps it himself. We're seeing that more and more, positionless players, and you know, I think it was Mike D'Antoni said it himself that he's kind of putting people into like, you're a guard, you're a wing, or you're a big. You know, we're getting away from 1 through 5. And a lot of those are interchangeable. 1 and 2 is interchangeable when you're talking about guards and wings. And then a lot of times wings and bigs are interchangeable because of the small ball that you see played.
You see it a lot at the NBA level with that versatility. And at the high school level, I think, you know, if you're going to try to be like Casey, for example, he's great at what he does underneath the rim. If you dominate that position, you're setting yourself up for an excellent college career. But you can't start expanding your skill set before first dominating when you're one of the only bigs in town.
RJ Barrett playing big. Block and block again. He's getting it done on both ends, but now Blue all alone against Dortz. Showing out for Montreal Nord is Luguentz Dortz.
Easy money for Dortz.
Lawson, tough pass. Nembhard picks it off. Lawson, got some hand on that.
Got a timeout coming here.
Blue has been on the run consistently, and Luguentz Dortz has found himself alone at the rim time and time again. Timeout on the floor. Note we have Jabril Price-Noel checking in for RJ Barrett. And now Kevin Jeffers takes his timeout for Team White. 5-point lead for RJ Barrett's squad. And one guy who I've consistently talked about is Noah Kirkwood, and we've consistently said he just does things to make you win games and make everybody on the floor better.
Extremely smart player and able to really create off the bounce. We've seen him, you know, you're watching Ashbury highlights right now from 2 years ago, but I got to see him a lot this season with Northfield Mount Herman, which I mentioned. Coach John Carroll obviously does an excellent job in the knapsack. He sees what type of player that Noah Kirkwood's going to be long-term, and he's given him a lot of opportunity this year to really play some point.
You know, that's a guy, 4 years in Ottawa, was able to, his dad's a coach, so he was able to play like Ottawa GGs in the summertime, got to train with high levels, some pros coming out of the Ottawa area, and then took that 5th year and headed down south. Talk about making the most of it, you know, was ready to do whatever was asked of him, moved down there, ended up being, like we said, moving him from shooting guard to point guard, playing them both, and like, how impressive is that to see a kid who's really mapped out his 5 years of high school and capitalizing?
And he's set to play next level basketball. Harvard's gonna have a good one coming in. He's gonna have a lot of returners as well who kind of are in the flow of things with Harvard and have been there for quite some time.
It's the one thing I've seen, the only thing that I've seen from Luguentz Dortz. He's missed now 3 straight free throws. And then nothing but net on the 4th there. Hey, talking to him yesterday, he said, I am far from a finished product. I know we all talk about how many great things we see from him, but sky's the limit for that kid. And Kaleem Bennett skied to the rim and finished through a possible block. But it got him on the hand. Chance for a 3-point play.
And you see the strength of Bennett here. First on the blow-by, then taking a little bit of contact and still knowing where he is in the air, able to finish. We've seen him do that time and time again throughout his high school career.
I'm going to guess there's going to be some heavy legs on this floor right now. All these kids traveling back from, was it Indianapolis and I believe Texas, the AAU sessions underway.
And next week we're in Indiana. I'll be headed out there tracking all the Canadian talent. Several NBA, sorry, I was about to say NBA. Several Canadian AAU teams in Indiana next week. I got the full list in my scouting report on northpolehoops.com for all our subscribed coaches.
Dortz would be under 50-point watch right now if he had hit all of his free throws. still putting up some gaudy numbers out there as Bujoso
Good job.
took
Real nice
Jacoby
work.
Neese to school.
Real nice work splitting the defense and then using the rim to protect himself, taking it to the other side on the hop step.
Head coach Kevin Jeffers for Team White now, just beside himself with the lack of transition defense. Lawson tried to finish at the rim, can't get it to go. Nembhard pushing it back the other way. Stops on a dime, no look. E-Man Miller throwing down off the dime from the future Gator, Andrew Nembhard. Bujoso taking it at Kirkwood. Great hands by Noah Kirkwood. Nembhard leading the 3-on-1 up top. Jacoby Neese shouting out his boys back home, Crestwood Prep.
Bet you didn't know he could get up like that.
That's a point guard?
2019 6'3" PG out of Crestwood.
Oh, finish through contact. Kaleem Bennett doing Kaleem Bennett things. Central Arkansas. You got something fun coming your way as you look at Nembhard leading the break and going up top to Jacoby Neese. Bennett at the line now.
Again, Central Arkansas committing. They already had actually a couple of Canadians. Matthew Comba's doing very well for himself out of Calgary, Alberta. Got to watch him with CYDC playing a lot of club ball. Also transferring out of Central Arkansas, looking for a home. Has 1 year to go and is immediately eligible. 6'8" Otas Ekiapolar.
It's like I'm sitting beside Canadian basketball encyclopedia in Elias Sabee.
There's a lot to take in, a lot to memorize, and sometimes I can't keep up. Just all the travel just wears down on you.
Ain't nobody doing what Elias is doing in the Canadian basketball circles. Coaches out there have him on your speed dial.
Very, very fortunate just to be in this rising community.
Sean Henry, an opportunity to D up RJ Barrett. I know talking to him, he was excited to have these opportunities to take on the players of this level. And that was Bediako taking care of business down low.
I think there's been a little bit of a humbling approach to Deshaun Henry as well. I mean, he came off of an extraordinary season playing prep basketball, but then you get put in this large collection of talent that's all pretty much headed down the NCAA route. And you realize, you know, you still got a lot to work on.
There he is, Henry D'ing up Barrett again. Going to get called for the foul on the baseline.
Great first step by RJ Barrett.
No matter what you see, you know Deshaun Henry is a player that kids in Sask are looking up to for what he's been able to do to be the first to be named to a lot of these showcases while Barrett crushes home the two-handed slam. There's Henry with the rock again. Gets it sent back by Bediako. Back out. Ooh, that's deep three. Dortz. Oh, once again, McCoy send it back. Ezedike. This is what happens in these showcase games in the fourth. Deshaun Henry. Oh, can't get the roll. You know, this starts to happen in the fourth quarter of these games, folks. Legs start to get heavy. Opportunity arises to try to throw down, but just can't get it to go. And here you look at Ezedike. This is part of his game. Just couldn't get it through that cylinder.
And he was disappointed in himself on that one. That's easy for him. I've seen him take off from, 3 feet out, or sorry, 3 hash marks.
As I'm taking a look over, is Deshaun Henry shooting free throws and Michael Pinball Clemens taking in the game over his shoulder as well. Pinball, such a supporter of basketball in Canada.
Good look, Barrett to DK.
Ooh, Joe Brown's going to pull it. No good. Dortz pushing it, inviting that contact. This guy loves finishing through bodies.
He's
Barrett.
like a freight train, man. There's not a lot that you could do. I mean, you're either going to have to be in position to take the charge, or you're going to have to get a hand in the cookie jar.
Timeout on the floor. Under 5 minutes left. A 7-point lead for Team White. The refs know that it's winning time as well. Getting a stare down by Kevin Jeffers. Wonder what's on this game for him. On the other side, Jeremy K.I. .4:20 to go in the fourth. Luguentz Dortz getting after it. Bediako can't get it. Blue on the run. Ooh. Brown with some clean hands.
And Saunders and Brown have played together before. Played on the summer circuit with CIA Bounce last year. Now Saunders moving on to Toledo. Joel Brown, still a year to go, and has picked up a lot of Ivy League interest. There's Jacoby Neath knocking down another triple. He's got 4 of them in the game.
Pure from deep. DK. Barrett Jr. RBJ. D'd up by his good friend Andrew Nembhard. Casey Zagu jumps out on him. Finds Joel Brown. He goes baseline, invites the contact, can't finish. Neath. Finds Saunders.
Knockdown. Oh, a little bit off the mark. He doesn't miss many of those when he's open.
AJ Lawson checking in for Team White. Noah Kirkwood coming in for Team Blue. This game's not a blowout, folks. 128-124. We thank you for joining us live on North Pole Hoops.
Whether you're watching on North Pole Hoops or through Ballislife, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of history once again. Canadian basketball is here to stay.
North Pole Hoops at the forefront of that charge. Been happy to bring you all the content that you've seen today on the stream. You can always catch more on northpolehoops.com. Casey Izagu, who had a great start to this game, looking to make an impact down the stretch as well. It's the other thing, man. Big man hitting his free throws. Cut the lead to 2, 3 minutes to go. Who wants to win this game? So many players playing their final high school game ever. Barrett with that second jump gets fouled.
And he could live at the line if he wants. I mean, that second jump, you mentioned it earlier. Once he gets a hand on it, he times it extremely well.
Barrett misses the first. Pushing the lead back up to 3. Nembhard with the rock. AJ Lawson was D'ing him up. I think the ball went off Tyrese Samuel. Blue will get it back. Shot clock resets to 14. Kirkwood inbounding along the side. Lawson trying to cut off Nembhard. He tried to dish it to Dortz. Has it picked off. Great speed by Joel Brown.
And way to control it too. He knows how to, he's able to stop it. You know, he goes from going full throttle, switching direction on that one. Nice move.
Ooh.
The ref's blowing it the other way. Wow. Charge called.
I believe that's the first charge we've seen in the game. You know it's winning time when guys are putting their body on the line. Try to get one back. Nembhard and Dortz in the backcourt. Dortz with the rock. D'd up by RJ Barrett. Look at Dortz. And almost like he muscles his way up to get his own rebound. So strong around the rim is Luguentz Dortz. A 1-point game, 2:10 to go. Lawson cut off by Kirkwood. Wow, Noah Kirkwood cut him off on one end, then got in for the steal on the other. Nembhard keeps it himself. Just like that, Team Blue up a point.
I think one of the most underrated qualities of Nembhard is his increased athleticism this year. The bunnies have really come into play.
Look out below Tyrese Samuel. Foul. Rack that up one more time for me. Tyrese Samuel coming through. Casey Izagu said, no thank you. I'll step to the side on that one. Well, we're not going to get to 200, Elias. Don't think we're going to get to 150.
We're in the 130s, and I'm fine where it's at.
Hey, man, 4 12-minute quarters isn't something that these guys usually play, so I guess we have the answer of the type of score we can see with this type of high-level talent that's been on display. This has been an unbelievable game to call. It's been a joy. Nembhard shutting down Barrett, who was trying to get the ball. Bediako keeps it himself. Looked off a wide open Samuel.
This could come down to the last shot. 1:15 to go.
Finds Kirkwood. Cash money, Noah Kirkwood. 3-point lead. RJ Barrett battling down low. He'll go to the line. Under a minute to go. Team Blue wants to talk it over. You don't think these guys want to win this game? They want to be known as the winners of the first ever signature All-Canadian Showcase. Samuel with a nice closeout, but Kirkwood from downtown. We were talking about Colleen Bennett earlier, and perfect example of someone who's going to a position where he can start right away at Central Arkansas.
I think his physical strength, explosiveness, his defensive stances, and he can guard 1, 2, and 3 in some leagues. At 6'4", with the burst that he has, I think he's going to be effective immediately and to have ample opportunity to earn minutes at Central Arkansas from the jump.
How about Emmanuel Miller, a name that we haven't said an awful lot because, I mean, he's a lockdown defender, but he can do so many other things.
Yeah, I mean, last year we talked about the national team taking him, and they used him from a defensive standpoint at 6'7", guarding 2 3s and some 4s. You're seeing him, as of late, expanded skill set. You're seeing him break his man down. You're seeing, alternate moves in his arsenal. And he's a kid that high majors are going to take very seriously. Oklahoma has. That's one of the biggest programs that's recruiting him.
And he still has time to continue to develop. That's the scariest part of a player like E-Man Miller. RBJ cashes the first. And the second. 1-point game, under a minute to go. Buckle up. We're in for a finish, folks. Neath working off the Izagu screen. Nice pass. Izagu couldn't handle it at first, but cleans it up.
That was a great look by Neath. Good job off-ball movement by Casey. Just mishandle it. It's very rare that he mishandles it like that.
40 on the clock. RJ Barrett. Explosion and slam.
Came up on the off leg as well.
That's what he's saying right now. He's pointing that out. 30 seconds on the clock. Dortz on Barrett. Oh, no. Dortz didn't pull up. Didn't need it. Nembhard. Once again, pick and roll.
Ooh.
I think that was a foul on the body. And this is Barrett taking it hard to the hole. He wanted this game in his home city of Mississauga before he went on to Duke University. And he just exploded for a slam there. Izagu hits the first.
One more shot here for Casey, and if he makes, Coach Jeffers looking to call a timeout. They're not going to let this one slip.
Timeout. Team White. So, talk to me. You're down 3. 17 seconds left. Who are you drawing a play up for Team White over there?
I mean, will we get some OT? I think that the assumption is that it's going to go to Barrett. But I'm looking for the best available three-point shooter on the floor. And in that case, you have quite a few options here.
One of them may not be Delano Banton, but he's a guy that at the next level I think is going to be a name that we hear a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're going to see him, and he's one of those guys that can make those open threes. But the biggest thing with him at 6'6", 6'7"-ish is the ability to play multiple positions, the ability to be an asset at any point in the game. Ball handle, contribute as a playmaker, contribute as a scorer.
A guy that we haven't said an awful lot today at all, Quincy Guerriere, but I mean, he's going to be an impact player in the coming years as well.
And he's a guy that's got about 15 schools on him. His list, all of high majors, Creighton, Syracuse, the list goes on, really. Tulane, I can go on forever, but Quincy has been known for the longest time to be the bona fide sniper. Now, off of that, you're seeing him explode to the rim a lot more. He's a little bit banged up today, so we're going to go back to this game here, see what White has drawn up.
RJ Barrett D'd up by his good friend, Andrew Nembhard. Barrett stuck 3. 10 seconds left. Nembhard all up on him. Dortz jumping out. 5 on the clock. Trying to work off the screen. Nembhard not backing down. Foul called. Now they're going to talk. Ooh, the officials didn't want to have this type of say. They did not want to have a say in this game. They're sending them to the line, I believe, to shoot 2. Look at RJ pushing off his good friend.
Oh, there's no friends in this one. This is all about he wants the win.
So 2 seconds on the clock. I mean, he's at the line shooting 2, stuck 3. This has to be a make the first. Ooh. So, I mean, he has to miss it on purpose, try to get it back for a 3. This would be something, even for Rowan Barrett Jr. You can see him thinking about it. He's looking around. Tip out. Can't get it. And Team Blue comes out as the winners of the first ever signature all-Canadian showcase. 138-135 your final as they await the announcement of who the MVP is. But what an unbelievable game we were treated to. 138-135. I thought we were on our way to a 200-point game, but not to be. And what did you see right now, Elias, in this game that we saw today?
I mean, the explosion of talent in this game, the level of guys. You got about half of these guys are going to be playing at the highest levels in the NCAA. All of them will go D1, and this is the craziest part of them all. There's a couple of players that are not able to make this game that you will see at the highest levels as well. I'm talking NBA, NCAA, and as the game continues to grow on, a multinational level, you will see more of these guys in the Olympics, more gold medals for Team Canada. That's the new standard.
And it is a new standard for Canadian basketball as we continue to make history in this great sport here in Canada. You take a look at Rowan Barrett Jr. hugging it out with Andrew Nembhard. Those two have been through so much together at Montverde Academy. And I think they're having a little chat right now about that foul at the end of the game. RJ thought that he should have shot 3 free throws. It's Sean Saunders mocking it up for the camera crew, the media in full attendance here tonight. Once again, the signature all-Canadian showcase, the first ever. And Team Blue were your winners. 138-135, the final. Rowan Barrett Jr. taking some time to sign some autographs. And you've mentioned it a couple of different times.
He's a special talent, a special person, just so humble in his approach, and he's going to be immediate impact at Princeton. They're going to love him in the Ivy League, and I think he's got a chance to be, again, a one-and-done player. You heard it here first. He's got that type of upside, that type of athleticism. We'll see what he does at Princeton next season.
Highly intelligent individual. And Shea Alexander, you want to talk about NBA prospect, he doesn't have to wait as long as the other guys.
No, and out of the 2017 class, did his thing at Kentucky. You saw halfway through the season, Coach Cal starting to really put trust in him, and then you saw that from his teammates as well, and his ability to just set up guys and do what he does best as a PG at 6'6", 6'7". I got him as the #1 PG in this draft. I know it's tough because Trey's in that, but that's what I got to say.
Ignas Brzezikas heading to Michigan next year. This is a guy whose body has gotten to the next level.
And Ignas has really taken care of his body. He's really trimmed down. I saw that at Hoop Summit specifically. All the baby fat's off, and now he's becoming more explosive off of the first step. He's exploding better at the rim, and he's always been a scorer. We know that. He could get buckets. Some have compared him to have a Harden-esque type game.
Then Justin Jackson, a guy who battled injury last year, could be coming out in the draft this year.
Will come out in the draft.
He did hire an agent, correct? So, I mean, Justin Jackson's a guy we've seen for a while at multiple positions.
And, came out of the same class as Jamal Murray. Took him a little bit longer to find out, who he really is and find the proper fit at Maryland. Started to be very productive before the injury, and he's really coming around and really taking care of his body.
O'Shea Brissett heading to Syracuse, going back for a second season. I'm so glad that he did go back. Struck fire in that first season, but O'Shea, also a very special player.
I'm sure the Syracuse fans are extremely happy to have him back. I mean, I almost averaged a double-double or right around there. And from a rebounding standpoint, from being able to expand his skill set, I think this season is going to really help him mold and get in a better position for the NBA draft.
Guy who's battled injury this year. That's why you haven't seen him, although he's been on the bench for a lot of these showcases that he was named to. Simi Shitu.
And Vanderbilt has the strongest recruiting class in the game in the NCAA this year. You got Duke as well right up there. But what he's going to bring into Vandy is an extremely versatile skill set. At 6'10", being able to extend his game out to the three and finish around the rim.
As we bring it back here live to the Hershey Center for the announcement of the game MVP for the first ever signature All-Canadian Showcase. Looks like you play head Dwayne Washington going through the possibilities for the MVP. Team Blue waiting to see.
I mean, you got Luguentz, Dortz in the running. You got RJ Barrett. If we're talking about one MVP, does it usually go to somebody on the winning team? You got Casey, who had himself a strong first half, but we'll see who decided on.
So you're taking a look. Team White's MVP with 47 points was RJ Barrett. 47 points for RJ Barrett as the MVP for Team White. And then co-MVPs for Team Blue, Casey Azagu, who really got it going as the big man rolling off those pick and rolls. And then, of course, Luguentz Dortz. But like I said, if he had cleaned up at the free throw line, he probably would have been near 40-point himself as well. Just generally speaking, what did you see here today?
I mean, we got, man, what I saw is some of the best talent in the world. RJ, obviously worldwide recognized as #1 overall in the 2019 draft. There's a good chance that that's happening. Luguentz Dortz headed to Arizona State, immediate impact. Eze Dike had himself some solid moments and showed the fans at Yale that he's going to be also an impact. I mean, it's just such a great collection of talent from all over the country.
I want to thank you all for tuning in on NorthPoleHoops.com and on Ballislife. Jason Tom signing off for Elias Sabate. NorthPoleHoops.com for all your Canadian basketball needs. We'll see you next year. The signature All-Canada Showcase #1, the first one ever, is in the books. Team Blue won it. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it.